welcome to The Reels Today for August 29th, 2024. Why are we dying from the very food we eat?
All the food is poison.
The carrots, the peas, the celery sticks, the meat and the fish will make you sick.
All the food is poison. All the food is poison.
The apples, tomatoes, wheat and the corn, all the food is poison. Don't eat the food, it's poison food.
The processed food industry was created by the cigarette industry. People don't know this, but in 1990, the three largest processed food companies were cigarette companies: Philip Morris, R.J. Reynolds, and others. Still to this day, Philip Morris owns Kraft. Most of the companies were spun out in the 1990s, but cigarette companies literally took their scientists, as cigarette companies were declining, and put them over to food companies to make the food more addictive. And all those thousands of ingredients that we have in our food are made to addict our children. It's hijacking our biology and our understanding of like what we're eating. You don't binge on natural food because our bodies are made over thousands of years to be with this food. But processed food is not natural. It's hijacking our biology.
And in America, why are most of us poor?
$32,000 a year is the average salary for most Americans. Now, I know they like to throw a number at us that's much higher than that, but if you take away the top 1% of earners, that $65,000 goes down to $55,000. Remove the top 5% of earners, and that $55,000 goes down to $44,000. And when you remove the top 10% of earners, the remaining 90% of Americans, 90% of the people you know, 90% of the people you see around you are making an average of $32,000 a year. That's how broke we are as a country. Oh, and that whole 1% thing, the 1% own all the money? No, that's not accurate. 0.5% of Americans are making over $1 million. Just $1 million. I don't even want to know what the 0.00000% of Americans are that make over 10 million. I didn't do the math.
And in America, did you know the reality is that we don't own a single thing?
America will become a renter nation. You will rent and use everything. You will rent your cars. You will rent where you live. You might even rent your clothes in the future. A mortgage is just a fancy way to say you own some shit that you don't own. The savior of America will not be lower prices. It will be longer mortgages. In your lifetime, you will see mortgages go from 30 to 40, 50, and maybe even 60 years. You could, if you live long enough, see a 100-year mortgage in America in order to give you the illusion that you own something when you don't.
Everything that you're worried about is going to be gone like that. The people that are criticizing you, they're going to be gone, you're going to be gone. All this hand-wringing worry and concern over how are people viewing me, someone said something bad about me and you get so upset about it, is wasted time and energy. Marcus Aurelius says your only focus should be on getting better at what you're doing. Focus on what you're doing, get better at what you're doing. Everything else is a complete waste of time.
In 100 years in 2124, we will all be buried with our relatives and friends. Strangers will live in our homes, which we fought so hard to build, and they will own everything we have today, including that car you spent a fortune on. Our descendants will hardly know who we were. How many of us know our grandfather's father? After our death, we will be remembered for a few years, and a few years later, our history, our photos, our deeds go into the dustbin of oblivion. We won't even be memories. Maybe if one day we stopped to analyze these questions, we would understand how ignorant and weak the dream of obtaining everything was, always having more and more, without having time for the things that are really worthwhile in this life. I'd change all that to live and enjoy those walks I've never taken, those ungiven hugs and kisses to our children and our love.
Everything changed for me when I understood this philosophy. You can have more than you've got because you can become more than you are. Success is not something you pursue. It's something you attract by becoming attractive.
Thanks for watching. I'm Ray, and those are The Reels Today. See you next time.